So right now we're looking at the January 2000 high, where a lot of people were saying that this was a major crash in the markets. In my personal opinion, that wasn't a major crash. That was probably just one of the crashes that we're about to witness on a much larger scale. What are your thoughts?
I think the biggest crash is coming somewhere between now and 2018. And as we were talking here in National Achievers in South Africa, I drew up a diagram how unstable the system is getting. It's unstable, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people out there saying that it all starts with the Federal Reserve. Everything's okay. You know, we've come out of the recession. This is probably the best time that we've ever seen over the last 20 years. I completely disagree. And coming from the media side, it's always the opposite end. And I think people are just being led down the wrong garden path, and they're about to witness something that they're not even ready for. In fact, they're not even listening.
If you guys are listening to the media and the press, you're getting bad information. So the reason you want to come to National Achievers is we're going to talk straight. Right, Tom?
That's right.
This is Tom Wheelwright. He is here's Tom Wheelwright. He's my personal accountant. He's going to talk about why the rich are getting richer. But you better understand what's going on in the markets. And this is Peng Joon. Does the market crash affect you?
No, I mean, I think that during the bad times, it's actually good times in the online world. Because what we do online it's not interrelated with how the economy is doing. It doesn't matter what the government's doing. We create our own economy.
Right.
You know, that's the amazing thing about the online.
And this is the future. You know, markets crash, economies crash. It doesn't make any difference. Like even I'm an old guy, the Rich Dad Company had to shift to be an IT company, right? If we weren't IT, we're gone.
You take a look at all of the businesses today, if they're not adapting, even if they're a brick and mortar business, they get wiped out.
Well, even our accounting firm had to go digital
Right.
and adapt to that.
Yeah.
So the future is very, very bright, but there is a crash coming, isn't it?
The future's bright for the people that are ready.
Yes.
The future's not bright for the people that are not ready.
And is the news telling people what's coming?
No, I mean, I've been in the media since 2002, and one of the things I say to people is this: if you're watching the news, if you're watching the media, you guys are the last people on the information food chain. It's too late. Things happen way before. There's a cause and there's an effect. You don't want to see the effect. You want to be there at the cause.
When I was a young kid, I was taught that the bull goes up the stairs. And what that means is the market gets high very slowly, but the bear goes out the window. So as strange as it seems, a crash is the best time because you can get rich very quickly, right?
Yeah. But one thing to also remember is this, that every time we've seen a market top, and as you said, the declines are being sharp, this one, I think it's going to be swift, very swift.
Yeah, I just talked to the South African, the 2,000 people out here. We're in an unstable position right now. You see, for every dollar or real or rand, you have $1, you have this much debt on it. You have 1 ounce of gold, you have this much paper gold, like ETFs. That's why I don't trust paper, I don't trust the stock market, I don't trust savings. Because everything now is starting to wobble because it's all built on nothing, right?
The other thing that people get wrong is this buy and hold mentality that it doesn't matter, even if this goes down, I'm going to hold this and I'm going to get out of this. Jeez. You tried selling that to the people that experienced 1929. Do you know how much suicide rates were in 1987? It was through the roof. Like, people were just literally like, I can't do this. Even in the last property crash, people were over leveraged and they just couldn't handle the interest rate rises. So is people prepared for this current move? I don't think so.
And the most important thing, what we've done here, is we've shown people how you can do extremely well, but you've got to be prepared for it. You know, I think one of the big mistakes I see people make is, well, I'll wait till it happens.
Yeah.
It's going to come so fast, you don't have time to do it.
Well, but the good news is, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So there is time to prepare, but there's not a lot of time to prepare because when it happens, it's going to be overwhelming. So that's I love being with you guys here because everybody here has a different view and a different aspect of how to prepare for it.
And the reason what Sandy teaches is so important is because what Sandy is telling us is how to see the future, right?
We're preparing for something. We're preparing for an opportunity. I mean, Robert, take a look at this chart here. This is 2000. The market drops 38%. A lot of people say that the markets are random. I don't buy that nonsense. Listen, the markets are not random. There's randomness in the markets, but if you know how to forecast, you can actually forecast very specific levels. So we already said that the market will most likely get to a 38% retracement. It's done that. But if we take a look, when we go to October 2007, that surpassed the 2000 drop. That was a 50% retracement. So even if we take the history and say, well, what's going to happen right now in 2017? Here are the standard levels which any market technician will understand. You know, an 8,000 point drop from the current levels will take us back to the 2007 high. That's a 50% wipeout of the current position right now. Is anybody prepared for that?
I am.
This is the best time to make money.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think here's the thing. Even for the online business, many times people say, "Oh, but the ship has already sailed." You know, people say things like, "Oh, Ping Jun, it's easy for you because you got started 10 years ago when it was a whole lot less competitive." And I say this: you compare this today, the platforms today. Technology has made things so much easier. To build a website 10 years ago, you would have to hire a programmer for tens and thousands of dollars. You would have to learn HTML, FTP, and all these complicated, programming mumbo jumbo. But in today's world, you can build a website in literally minutes. So if anything at all, things has gotten so much easier to get started in the online
Well, I
world.
think what you say is important. So let's say you're living in Brazil or South Africa.
Right.
It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Because you can access the world.
That's correct.
And that's, I think, what Peng is going to teach you guys here is the most important thing. It doesn't make a difference where you're at.
But the problem is, for many people, they've created a story that said, I live in country name and therefore it won't work for me.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. Like I'm from
we
Malaysia,
do too.
so
What,
the
you can't
government-
do that
yeah,
here?
I can't do that here. The odds are against me. The government is against me. So the story that people tell themselves, that's important as well.
Because they're losers, that's why. So don't be a loser. Tom's going to be talking about taxes and go, well, what does it have to do? Taxes is the single largest expense. And it doesn't make a difference where in the world you are, right?
No, it doesn't. It's like with paying, right? When we travel the world, everybody always comes up and say, "Oh, that's great information, but you can't do that here." The reality is, people are doing it everywhere. I've studied the tax law around the world. It's basically the same from country to country. And once you learn how the tax law really works, you can do it if you're in technology, you can do it if you're in stocks, you can do it in real estate, wherever you are, you can do it, but you have to understand how the tax law works in the first place. We're just going to make it really simple.
And not only that, Tom is my personal accountant for 15 years, and accountants don't lie, because he knows my numbers. Was 2007, 2008, that crash, was it good?
Oh my heavens, that was you've done better since then than you'd ever done before.
Because I was prepared for it.
Right.
We knew it was coming. We pulled back. Everybody was investing in real estate. We said, we're out. See, when idiots are in the market, you got to get out because your money comes from idiots. So Tom knows, Kim and I pulled back. It crashed, went to our banker. We borrowed $300 million, nearly $500 million, and we bought. And Sandy's chart will say 10 years later, we're all-time high. And what are we doing right now? We're pulling back again, right?
There's an old saying, what goes up must come down, right? The question is, when? And this is what we're trying to do here, is we're trying to help people to understand one of the critical elements is timing. And you know what? People are going to be able to pick up bargain prices on property, on stocks, and just time it right. And, I'm going to say this, I'm actually quite scared because this is going to wipe out a lot of ordinary people, and this generation hasn't even experienced this.
Well, just look at it this way. For every, let's say, ounce of gold in the gold market, it depends on different markets, right? There's bond markets, gold markets, real estate, stocks. For every ounce of gold, there's 500 ounces of paper gold. And it's starting to do this right now. And when it crashes, the thing is going to go over. So the reason I'm buying gold, I don't really care about the price, because when this goes over, you can't buy gold at any price. And these ETFs and these paper gold, it's a sucker's play. And that's where I get my money from. So I would come to NAC in Brazil simply because you can be able to prepare for the future and do well instead of getting crushed. And what Sandy's charts tell you is how you see the future. He's not concerned, Tom's not concerned. We're afraid, but we're prepared, right?
We're prepared, but on the one hand, this is going to be a fantastic opportunity. If you know what to do and when to do it, we've been waiting for this. You know, on the one side, you kind of think, well, we don't want to see this happen, but you're also waiting to say it's going to happen. Let's prepare for it.
Well, just look at the people without jobs. When that goes down, more people will lose their jobs.
Robert, actually, people are losing their jobs already,
Yeah.
and no one's even talking about it.
Kids are coming out of school, they can't find a job, but they still go to school, come out loaded with debt, they can't find this job. Wait when the kid can't find a job and the father loses his job or the mother loses her job. That's why you should come. Because if you're hoping everything stays the same, Sandy's charts are telling us it's not.
The other side we have to also talk about is this, that we've been saying that the crash has already started, and people are saying,
A long
where?
time ago.
This hasn't started. Are you kidding me? Have you seen the currencies around the world? Some of these currencies are around 35-40% lower. The crash already started 4 years ago. Just because we're not seeing the crash in the stock market doesn't mean there's not a crash happening elsewhere. The currency crisis was already here.
Well, in America, I look at the car lots. The car lots are filled with cars. They're not selling. I look at all the young kids who can't find a job. They're crashed. If you lose your job, you're in depression, you know. And in America today, in 2008, so many stores closed, so many retailers closed. In 2017, there's more retailers closing than in 2008. That means thousands of retail clerks and shipping clerks and warehouse clerks have lost their jobs. So the crash is already on. A lot of it's caused by your work. It's your fault.
In a way, yeah.
Because, in America, Amazon's shutting down the retailer.
Yep.
So the idea of job security, not true, is it?
Not in the online world, no.
No. So the opportunity is in the online world. Because you don't care then, you can
100%.
access the world.
Yeah.
And Tom's going to talk about world taxes. Sandy's going to teach you how to read the chart so you can decide for yourself which way the world's going to go. And I'm going to do my usual shtick, is why the rich will get richer no matter what. So this is our team. We'll be seeing you in Singapore, Brazil, China, and Japan. I'll go home country. So we'll see you there. This is the team. Look, you guys, don't pretend it's all okay. We hope we're wrong, but it's best to prepare.